Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our Hygienic Hydration Solutions webinar. Today's webinar will be roughly 30 minutes, including a Q&A, and we will be covering a Haas product overview to help you learn about the right product for your site. As always, we will be sending out a follow-up email within 48 hours of the presentation, which will include a PDF copy of all the slides we cover here today. Questions. If you have any questions, please post them at any time during the webinar using that questions section on the toolbar. And any questions that cannot be addressed during the Q&A will be answered and included in that follow-up email. Your hosts today are myself. I am Hayden Delgado. I'm the field marketing specialist with Haas, and presenting alongside me is Justin Dunn. Justin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Hygienic Hydration Solutions webinar. We're really happy you're here, and Hayden and I have a lot of exciting information for you.
All right, so let's get into the agenda for today. We will start off by covering our series of electric water coolers, then some of our more recent hygienic improvements, and then I'm going to pass things over to Justin for a run-through of our sensor operations and a look into our bottle filters. And then, as I said, we're just going to finish it up with a quick Q&A at the end as well. Our electric water cooler series, commonly referred to as EWCs, you're going to hear that a lot throughout this presentation, but they are a solid combination of lower cost, unmatched design, chilled water, filtered options, and that quality that you'd only expect from Haas. This is a unique series of items, and the fact that it's newer and nicer than anything else on the market right now, as it offers a nice, fresh, progressive design, a little bit different than that wedge style that you usually see. And it looks great in any space, but still has that durability that Haas is known for. And a few of the key features of our EWC is the enhanced interface and electronics package, and also that quiet operations that just helps minimize distractions with options that are a significant percent quieter than the leading competitors' EWCs. As of right now, we have 16 different option types to choose from. All units are basically a combination of a single or a high-low unit, with or without bottle filler, then with or without filtration, and with or without a hands-free option for that drinking fountain itself. The bottle filler unit is always going to be hands-free, so that touchless hands-free option is just for the drinking fountain itself, as the base models come with the push bar. There's also the 1210 standalone bottle filler with an option for filtered or non-filtered as well. That's that unit off to the far right that you see there. The filter in these units is an industry-leading 3,000-gallon filter for lead, taste, odor, and other harmful contaminants. And on these filters is an RFID tag. That RFID tag is going to allow the filter to communicate with the EWC, which helps prevent using the same filter after the completed life cycle, meaning you can't take that filter out, then put it back into the same unit or even a different unit and expect it to pick it up as a new filter. It's still going to show the same amount of filter life cycle that is left in that filter. And then it also communicates with the EWC by showing a filter emblem on the bottle filler LED display. And I'll get into that emblem and the nitty-gritty about it in a little bit. There's also no need to turn off water if you're changing this filter. It's nice and easy. There's an auto water stop for filter replacement. And if any water comes out, it's just going to be a drop or two.
And that auto stop, if I could jump in real quick, is absolutely huge. If you think about your filter expiring, having to reach out to the maintenance team, and all of a sudden, there's more time invested in getting somebody out there and potentially downtime for your equipment. And where On competitor units, you have to shut down the power, shut down the water, get into the unit, pop out the filter, and then undo everything you just did. Whereas this, you get in there, pop it out, pop a new one in, and you're right back in. It's something somebody just in the office could do rather than getting maintenance involved even.
Yeah, and that's a great point because these units are really built all around saving you and your facility staff time. The bottle fillers on these units has a fill time of 2 ounces a second with the laminar flow, just helping you fill bottles quickly, making it ideal for all types of high traffic areas. There's also a auto purge feature to prevent Legionella and other bacterial growth, which is perfect for any type of facility that's going to be shutting down over weekends or holidays and really any long periods of time. What happens here is that every 24 hours, there's an auto purge that surges through the system and clears out any sitting water. And each bottle filler in our EWC series has an enhanced interface with an LED display. And on that display, you have your pretty standard nowadays, that bottles saved counter. Everybody wants to see how many bottles they're saving, feel a little bit better about themselves. Then there's also the touchless sensor for the bottle filler, and then that filter status emblem that I talked about earlier. That filter status emblem is going to show steady from 100 to 10%. Then once it drops under 10% left on that filter life cycle, it's going to be just a slow pulsing emblem. And then when it hits 1 to 0%, it's going to be more of a rapid flashing emblem, meaning that the filter needs to be changed. We really wanted to move away from the red lights that you see on certain units. We didn't want to scare anybody away. So when that filter needs to be replaced, it's just going to be the flashing emblem. And if you have a non-filtered unit, this emblem will not show on that display. There's also an energy efficiency indicator on the display, which goes into effect after 1 hour without motion of light, meaning that if you have this unit in an office building and everybody goes home for the night, there's nobody there, that unit's going to shut off. And then when the first person comes back in the morning, turns on the light and is moving around, the unit will turn back on and begin showing water again, giving the product just that much longer of a life cycle. If it's in sleep mode 60% of the time because there's nobody in the building, it's going to last you that much longer over time as well.
And that's huge. I mean, that just the capability for this thing to expand its own lifespan inside of your facility by saving the chilling capabilities and the amount of hours that it's working, I think is huge.
Yeah, and if you want to go back to that slide really quick too, Justin, there's the enhanced electronics package that this LED screen is used for. And in that is also a programmable energy savings mode, which can be programmed Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday at any specific time that you desire that unit to be chilling water. And this package is not going to be available to just anybody walk up and use on the display. There is a hidden button under the bowl that has to be pressed. And then once that is utilized, then you can adjust the settings. Other settings on there are the ability to calibrate the sensitivity of the unit, the light brightness on the unit, and then also show an error codes display if you're having any problems with the unit. You can then look at a key and quickly find out what problems you're having. Again, just another quick way to save you some time and help you figure out what's going on with you. So the tradition in the industry has always been to have a tanked water chiller that's going to store water and then pull it from that tank. On our units, we have a very highly efficient tankless chiller which provides chilled water immediately to the unit. What is great about that is that it is tankless, so there's no sitting water for debris or bacteria like Legionella to grow or collect in, for a clean flow of water with every use, while still providing a similar amount, just on par amount of chilled water. And we also offer a 5-year warranty with the refrigerant in this unit as well. The 1210 is the newest unit in our EWC series. This is a bottle filler only unit with filtered or non-filtered options and comes with the same features and benefits as the rest of the EWC series. Um, Over the past few years, there has been a large demand of bottle filler only units, especially due to COVID. And we heard that we wanted to provide a solution, so we made the 1210. These are touchless and very hygienic options. And one of the reasons for that is that the bottle filling platform and catch basin are two different levels, which can be separated to easily clean the surfaces by just lifting that bottle filling platform. And the basin on the unit is also a little bit deeper, helping catch any splashing water that comes from filling or dumping a water bottle. We've all seen somebody walk up and pour out their warm water to replace it with cool water, and there's a little bit too much water in there, it goes splashing around, comes out of the unit. We just wanted to provide a solution to that. So we've timed commercial plumbers installing units, and we've seen a typical installation savings time of around 40 to 60 minutes on the Haas unit, and sometimes even more depending on the competitor unit that you're comparing it to. The comparison picture here with the Haas unit and the competitor's unit pretty much explains why, as you can see that abundance of extra space and the simplified design under that Haas unit. So again, if time is of the essence for your facility staff, this just would be something to keep in mind. There's also a full-size template that's included with the unit with marked plumbing and fittings and a self-leveling wall bracket to ensure the unit is level. This is great because this means no more hitting the unit with a rubber mallet in an attempt to make that bottle filler level on the unit, which sadly Justin and I have both seen before and have both done before. The extra space and elongated body of the unit also allows for adjustability and easy retrofitting over a majority of the competition and the Haas units as well.
Yeah, don't get too jealous. Hayden and I both had the pleasure of installing most of our competitors' products and the Haas EWC, and I think we can both vouch for the ease of installation and the fact that our hands came out unscathed when installing the Haas EWC in comparison to the competitor units, and the lack of use of rubber mallet was appreciated.
One of the key features that we've added during COVID is this bubbler deactivation. We saw a lot of bubblers being deactivated, as well as I'm sure all of you, during COVID due to safety concerns, and we get that. We understand it. We wanted to help clean that up the best way that we could. So to do so, we made it possible to electronically turn the fountain off temporarily with no need to modify any water lines or anything else with the unit. There's also an option to replace the bubbler head with a cap that is included in the box for no additional charge. And this also comes with additional signage as well that just notes that the fountain is turned off. I would like to state though, if you do decide to temporarily deactivate your drinking fountain, it is very important to keep in mind the ADA standard and the building code compliance. You want to make sure that you keep that compliance. The 24-hour bottle purge will still continue to happen, so there won't be any sitting water in those lines. It's still going to provide that leach valve protection. And this is a very simple reversal to put the bubbler head back on and turn that fountain on as well. Now we're going to move away from that EWC series for a little bit and onto a few of our other hygienic improvements. One of those is our antimicrobial copper push buttons for sanitary activation. We use copper because it is broadly recognized for its antimicrobial properties among many industries, and especially in healthcare. There's a lot of studies around this, and basically it breaks down bacteria and yeast and makes it very difficult for viruses, even COVID-19, to survive on its surface. When a virus like COVID is on a copper surface, that antimicrobial copper immediately begins to break down the bacteria And after only an hour to an hour and 45 minutes, that bacteria is only at a half-life, meaning it's only half as strong as it once was. And then in as little as 4 hours, that bacteria is completely gone. The antimicrobial copper push buttons are available for new and existing units as retrofit kits, as they fit over all models that use the 5874 stainless steel valve, our standard valve. And the buttons are also quick and easy to install with easy to follow instructions for you to do it out in the field. Um, we have already begun to see larger school districts like LAUSD switch to copper push buttons and utilize this technology throughout their school districts. And a big part, or a big reason for this, is the fact that it's a very inexpensive solution and a simple process to immediately provide added protection to Haas units, and still very vandal resistant.
Okay, I think this is where I take over. So EWCs, copper buttons, all great ways to immediately or drastically improve your hygienic options inside of your facilities. Publicly, one of the best ways to accomplish this and to create something that you can have a lot more confidence in is to take your hands completely off the equipment, right? And that's where sensor operation comes into. So over the last several years, it became a huge talking point, and now post-pandemic in the world that we're living in now, the conversations have changed. It's become much more important to have these sort of options available for you. And available in public spaces to ensure that we're not actually interacting or touching the equipment that we're relying on in public spaces. So that brings us to sensor operation. So the EWC that we just talked about, this includes always a touchless bottle filler. No matter what, you're getting that if you get a bottle filler with the EWC, but it includes a manual push bar on the front. An incredibly sensitive manual push bar, which is important. But the sensor on the front is now an option. So we can have a sensor on the front of the unit there. We have customized signage to let customers of that fountain know that this is a touchless device. It also includes a redundant button on the front. Now, sensors are, unlike a manual push button, and just like anything else, can eventually wear out, or there could be eventual issues way down the road. And having a redundant button on the front of the unit is, we think, incredibly important. If there are any issues with the sensor tampering and things like that, you still have a manual push button on the front of the EWC to keep it in operation. The sensor will recognize blockages if you have kids, maybe adults that tape it or put any sort of substance on the front of the sensor. It will recognize this and stop operation of the fountain to ensure that it's not going to continually keep flowing. That timing is about 30 seconds. And it will manually shut off, and then there are steps that you can follow after that to immediately put it back into use. So incredibly important. It brings us to a complete hands-free operation unit. A sensor on the front is also, we think, really important for wheelchair-bound persons too. If you think about the mechanics of somebody in a wheelchair approaching a drinking fountain, trying to utilize a fountain in public, the capabilities to not have to use your hand or have your hand in between the fountain and your body, trying to activate or push a bar, etc., we think is incredibly important. So it definitely gives an upgrade in functionality to for ADA purposes as well. So and it retains all the same features as our normal EWC products. Now the sensors were incorporated into the rest of our line too. So our core drinking fountain families here at Haas have sensors now incorporated into them, into the bottle fillers, into the main drinking fountain body. These are, I think, incredibly nice looking sensors. They have a stainless steel finish around the sensor. It even says sensor operated on it, which is a really nice feature. They look nice and clean, and you can get these standard now. And it just upgrades the ease of use of a drinking fountain in public in general, right? Which was our main goal, is keeping your hands off of it, including improving the hygienic operation of the fountain and making ease of use for the customer of the fountain that much easier. So this has been expanded across our line. The HO on the model indicates it is a hands-off unit. We have fully hands-off units, or like you see on the right-hand side there, a combination of button operation and sensor operated. The sensors on this one in particular being on the ADA wheelchair accessible fountain side for ease of use, and a button operation on the left-hand side. So whatever your preference is for your facility, building, park, so on, we can accommodate the sensors in that fashion. Now we also offer retrofit kits now. The retrofit kits are awesome because we have, Haas has been around forever, 100+ years. Our drinking fountains are everywhere. We've been utilizing the same valve in our bodies for an incredibly long time. And now what we can do is retrofit most of those to a touchless operation sensor. So we have retrofit kits. These are either hardline power or plug-in. So all you need is pretty much power at the unit. I've personally installed these at a local museum here in the Reno Sparks area, which is where we're located. And you take off the panel on the bottom, you uninstall the old button, you install the new sensor. There are simple directions on how to install the solenoid valve and things like that. And then you can just plug it straight into an outlet if you have an outlet. If your fountain is chilled, you know for sure you have power there. You just have to find out whether it's an outlet or direct power, and you can tie right into that, whatever's underneath the fountain there or nearby. So awesome option, gives us the ability to retrofit existing fountains. This is for indoor installations, obviously, but they're certified, ready to ship. We have kits for one or multiple fountains, depending on your project. So we can quickly upgrade their capabilities. Now I'm going to quickly touch on bottle fillers as an option and some of the newer options that we have available. The 1922 being one of our favorite inclusions. This is a standalone bottle filler unit. It is impossible unless you woke up one morning and you had a real grudge against a drinking fountain. You cannot go into public and defeat this piece of equipment. It is fully stainless steel, incredibly vandal resistant, and like I said, unless you woke up with a grudge, you're not going to do anything to this. But you have the option for the copper button on the bottle filler. You could include a sensor if you have power there at the location for the installation. These are great for schools, high traffic, heavy use type areas, airports, schools, etc. And has an in-wall drain underneath the bottle filler there, where you could set the bottle to fill it up, but will also catch any water that comes from the bottle filler that isn't going into a bottle and drain it directly back into the wall. So incredibly cool device, and we love this as an addition to our already large category of bottle fillers available. The outdoor bottle filler and drinking fountain, also an incredibly important piece for us right now. This is an outdoor unit that comes in multiple configurations. So you'll notice the panels on the main body of the fountain. This allows for incredibly easy maintenance on the unit, as we can remove multiple panels and the large one to get inside and to work on. It allows us to configure this in different ways to fit whatever your project needs are. So if you need multiple types of drinking fountains in multiple configurations, it's all pretty much one unit. We can also index the drinking fountains and bottle fillers in different directions. Generally speaking, they're in the configurations that you see here, buttons towards the front. We have lots of different options for these, including the bottle filler, dog bowls, which is maybe my favorite thing ever. I love it when I'm out with my dog and I run into dog bowls for fountains. Hose bibs, and also freeze protection for these units as well. They are also fully ADA compliant, which is always an important point, whether it's in public parks or inside a building. ADA accessible is always a part of the conversation and always incredibly important to accomplish. So you can see here it's set up for a forward approach. We have our 32 by 48 clear floor space for California. In some other states, that's a 30 by 48 inch space, but that's based on average wheelchair size. And so that there's plenty of space for a wheelchair to approach, and there's plenty of space under the arm for your knees, toes, and etc. So in summary, based on these different categories that we've kind of presented to you here, we know now that the hydration industry will never be the same post-pandemic. Our conversations have changed going forward. There are going to be two trends that will remain the topic of conversation. That's bottle fillers. You can't throw a rock and not hit a project that has a bottle filler on it nowadays. Those are that's what people want. So bottle fillers are kind of everywhere right now. And then concerns over hygienic operation in public, right? And continuously improving that. So make sure you're considering your manufacturer if you have a project and their options. And Haas offers a huge variety of products that can suit your facility's needs going forward. So we'd love it if you consider us in those conversations. So before we get into the Q&A, one attendee, given the type of attendees that we usually get, is going to win a Haas EWC 1210 hands-free bottle filling station. We'll be reaching out after the webinar and following up with the winner within 24 hours of the webinar. We have to go randomly decide who it is that the winner is going to be, but these are not just great if you're going to install it in your garage, but great for your office, great for schools, if you're going to donate it locally, whatever you want to do with it. We love it. Throw it on the wall. We think you'll love it too. So we'll be reaching out after the webinar, and that brings us to the Q&A. So Hayden is going to handle that. He's going to ask some questions, bounce between the two of us, and we're just going to try to get to as many as we can in a couple minutes here and close.
All right, so I'll handle the first one, and then we'll just switch back and forth. The first question we have is, with touchless start-stop technology, how sanitary really is the bubbler head design? I still see people putting their mouth on the bubbler head, especially when there is low water pressure or the stream isn't adjusted correctly. Typically, the bubbler head is still highly hygienic. However, it would not be hygienic for anyone putting their mouth directly on it. Please, if you are one of these people, do not put your mouth on that bubbler. If someone does put their mouth on the bubbler, the water outlet may be contaminated by the direct mouth contact, but this will be flushed out after the initial activation of the water, which is good news because we have found that most people do not activate the fountain and consume those first few seconds of the water. Rather, they're going to typically activate it, then evaluate the stream height, and then take a drink. And I would also like to point out we do utilize antimicrobial materials in our designs to help eliminate any issues like this.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. How awkward would it be publicly to see somebody put their face in front of the bubbler first without evaluating like the stream height and pressure and hitting the button? Like nobody takes a drink like that. So it's definitely clearing out that whatever little bit is there in the bubbler head.
No, half the time you would end up missing your mouth. So our second question, Justin, for you is what is causing such significant time saving on the EWC?
Oh, yeah, a couple things. One, the gigantic cavity of space that we've built into the EWC, we've really done a great job at moving over all of the chilling components underneath the fountain and offering a large amount of space to work underneath the fountain. So you saw the comparison earlier, and the ability to really quickly and easily fit the water, power, and drain and work on those underneath the fountain is awesome. There's tons of space. It's super easy to work in. Second is the template that we've provided. That template, you throw it on the wall, you mark where the brackets are going to go, and you're good to go. Even from in the construction phase, you can get your hands on that template and quickly mark out where the power drain and supply are going to go, and it makes both ends of that installation process very quick and easy.
The next one is, are the touchless units geared for outdoor application, and are they filtered / vandal resistant? Most are not geared to outdoor use due to the necessity of the power needed for the touchless operation. However, that's not to say that you won't see them there in the future. We are always researching new ways to provide new hydration solutions for our customers. For the filters and vandal resistant part of the question, almost all our fountains, indoor and outdoor, and the EWCs include filtered options, and all our equipment includes varying levels of vandal resistancy. Some are intended for areas with a higher likelihood of vandalism, and others with high traffic use in mind. And we're going to answer one more question here. Let me find one for you, Justin. We'll go nice and easy with this one. Where do I buy these products?
Oh, so okay. Well, that one is easy. So we go to market through distribution. You can always reach out to us directly, but the Fergusons and Grangers of the world are our partners in business out there. You can go through your preferred plumbing distributor and wholesaler to get your hands on any of these products. If you have questions about them though, or you need help reaching out to find somebody, our website is an incredibly useful tool, or you can just give us a call. We're always available during the week. Give us a call. Our customer service is like top notch. They're awesome over there, and they can help direct you immediately to who you need to talk about. So, and given that that's the last question, we're going to close. I'm told there were actually a good amount of questions. We'll follow up and send you the answers to those questions post webinar. So just expect an email from us. We'll send that out to you so that you have the full list of answers to all the questions if you submitted one. So Hayden and I want to say thank you. Please, if you have questions or you need additional resources, want more information on any of these products, www.hosco.com is an incredible resource for finding those documents and additional info. We also have a live chat feature on there that's super useful. Hayden and I are, if you're interested, if you enjoyed this, which we like to think and hope you did, tomorrow Hayden and I are hosting another webinar. It's at 10 a.m. It's a CEU certified webinar, and it's on the ANSI ISEA Z358.1-2014 standard. The other half of our business being eyewashes, safety showers, and their compliance, and that's what we're going to go over tomorrow. Totally free, and you can register at our website. So we hope you've enjoyed this. If you have or need anything, please reach out to us. And again, thank you and have a great week.
Thank you, everyone.